Hello, welcome to today's Clarity Reset. Today, we are going to get into our half year audit. We are 6 months into the year and we're sitting at the last day of a season today. Tomorrow, the sun moves into Cancer and a new season begins. Before it does, we're going to look honestly at what the first half of this year has actually been, what you've built, what you've learned, what you've let go of, and where you are genuinely headed. This isn't about judging, it's about clarity before a new season begins. So, I invite you to first have this grounding session with me. So, get cozy in your chair, close your eyes or soften your gaze, and bring your attention to your breath. We'll take a few deep breaths together. So, a deep breath in through your nose, and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, I want you to think about this year so far. Think about January. Think about the very beginning of this year, how you rang in the new year. Think about where you were, what you knew, your goals, the things you'd hope to accomplish by the end of this year, the things you'd hope to accomplish now. Think about how those things might have changed a little over time, how they evolved, or maybe you stayed right on track. Just take a true accounting of all of that. Just think about it. And when you do, I'm sure your mind is racing a little. So bring it back to your body. And when you do think about all of those things, how does it land in your body? How does it feel? Is it excitement? Is it fulfillment? Is it stress? Is it worry? Disappointment? Do you feel a physical heaviness somewhere? Do you feel happy? What are your feelings around where we've gone in this year? You personally, your business, all of it. And now I want you to think about all of the things that you've learned, no matter how you learn them. Maybe you took a class, maybe you read a few books, maybe you were a part of a cohort, maybe you've worked with a coach, maybe you made some mistakes and learned from them. Think about the things that you've learned. And think about each month, you know? I mean, we're in month 6 now. There's a lot there's a lot of territory to cover. And now I want you to kind of push all those thoughts out of your head as much as you can. Bring your attention back to your breath. Notice how the air feels as it enters your nostrils. It's a little cooler than it is when it exits. Notice the subtle movement of your chest and maybe your torso, your stomach area when you take a breath. And notice any spots where you might be holding any tension, any tightness, any energy. Shrug your shoulders all the way up to your ears, real high, real tight. Flex all of your muscles and your shoulders. And now I want you to roll them back. And as you roll your shoulders around, I want you to imagine that you're like rolling any stress away. You know, like you're pushing it back. As you roll your shoulders back, you're pushing it back and off of you. I carry a lot of tension, carry a lot of energy in my shoulders. So it always feels good to really roll them out. And then when they feel a little looser, just rest your arms and your hands somewhere where they feel supported. And keep your attention on your breath. If your mind starts to move around, bring it back. Bring it back and think about your breathing. Just focus on that just for a few more moments. There's nowhere else you have to be. There's nothing else you have to do for the next 20 minutes except for this right here. Let's take a few more breaths together. So a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And now I invite you to return to the room. Grab your journal. If you haven't already, open your eyes. And the first thing that I want for you to do is a brain dump. So, for the next 2 minutes, I want you to write whatever comes to mind in your journal. Whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is, fragmented sentences, words, whatever. Just whatever's in your head, put it on paper right now. Just don't stop writing. The key of this is to move any, those thoughts that are always racing around in your head, those ideas that you have and things that are, you got 10 things going on at once. What we're trying to do is move all of those onto paper and get them out of your way so that when we get to the journal prompts, you're not sifting through that every time. And maybe some of that will come up, but it won't be every time. So just whatever words, whatever nonsense, whatever pops into your head, write it down. You got another minute left. The key is to not stop writing. And if you don't know what to write next, just write whatever you already wrote and keep writing that until the next thing comes. Got 30 seconds left. Keep going. Okay. Now, the first question that I want you to answer, and this is the big one, what have you actually accomplished in the first half of this year that deserves recognition? What have you actually accomplished in the first half of this year that deserves recognition? And I am going to set a timer for longer than normal because I really want you to write a list here. I really want you to go deep, just keep going, even if it's the tiniest thing. And although this question says deserves recognition, even if maybe you don't think it deserves recognition, but you feel in the inside that it's a little win, write it down. Write down all of it. And the 5-minute timer starts now. So you got plenty of time. Write the list. Be real. Be honest. This isn't about what you plan to accomplish, it's what actually happens, what you completed, what has shifted, what decisions have you made? When have you had moments of courage? Think of things you built or started, things you ended. Give yourself a full accounting before we look at anything else. What have you learned? Who's in your circle now that wasn't? What have you started? What have you ended? Just keep going. You've got more than 3 minutes left. You got a lot of time. Okay, so, again, what have you actually accomplished in the first half of this year that deserves recognition? Again, this isn't what you planned, it's what actually happened. So, talk about the things that you completed, the things you've worked on, the things that have shifted, maybe some moments of courage, things you built. Give yourself that full accounting. We still have just under 2 minutes left, so keep going, you got plenty of time. All right. So, wrap that up. And if you need a little extra time, if you've got some more things you want to write down, it's totally cool if you pause this video and give yourself a few more minutes to really write it down. Um, because this is where the juicy stuff is. This is where the good stuff is. This is where you can give yourself a pat on the back. So it's totally fine if you want a little more time, hit pause. But we are going to move on. So the next question that I want for you to answer in your journal: what is true about where your business is right now and what you've been reluctant to say out loud? What is true about where your business is right now that you've been reluctant to say out loud? Now, I don't want you to look at this like, oh, like I don't want to say it out loud because it's negative. But what we're trying to do is just get clear. We want to really get clear on what is working, what is not, what's sitting in the background waiting for you to deal with. So that's really what we're trying to get clear on here. We're going to have a shorter timer on this one. We're going to go with 3 minutes. So, again, what is true about where your business is right now that you have been reluctant to say out loud? Kind of your honest picture. Maybe it's what you expected. Maybe it's better than you expected. Maybe it's not what you expected in a way that feels a little stressful. But be real about it. Where where is your business right now? What is true about it right now? What have you been reluctant to say out loud? What's working, what's not, what's sitting in the background waiting? Keep going. You got about a minute left. Again, what is working, what is not, and what is sitting in the background waiting for you to deal with? Wrap it up. Okay. So, the next question: based on what you know right now, what does the second half of this year need to look like? Based on that, what you know right now, what does the second half of this year need to look like? Now, I don't want you to necessarily create like a wish list. I just want you to focus in on an honest read of what needs your attention, what needs to change. What are you committed to building between now and December? That's what I want this part to be about. So, based on what you know right now, what does the second half of this year need to look like? A couple minutes left. So, again, based on what you know right now, what does the second half of this year need to look like? What needs your attention? What needs to change? And what are you committed to building between now and December? Hey, start wrapping it up. We're getting to our last prompt for today. Okay, and finally, I want you to finish this sentence. Going into the second half of this year, the one thing I am no longer willing to carry is blank. Now, I want you to write out the whole sentence. There's some kind of magical thing that happens when you write the whole thing and not just the answer. So do the thing, make the magic. Going into the second half of this year, the one thing I am no longer willing to carry is blank. And usually it's your first answer, so we're only going to have a very short time to write this out. Okay, so start wrapping that up again. Going into the second half of this year, the one thing I am no longer willing to carry is blank. So the second half of the year starts tomorrow, and you get to decide what you're bringing with you and what you're not. And so hopefully today's session helped you decide what it is that needs to come with you, what needs to change, and where you're going with the rest of your year. Because if you have a solid North Star to move toward, you can check all of your decisions against that North Star to make sure that you're on the right path. So, I hope that this session was helpful for you. I hope that you got some clarity out of this. And if you did, or if you didn't, either way, I'd love to hear from you in the comments and let me know how it went. Bye, guys.